This is a producer called Harmand Geoffrey. Let me check I've got that right. I have featured their Gevrey Chambertin a few times before because there was a comparative bargain from Fortnum & Mason for the 2019, which is just the sort of regular village level Gevrey Chambertin, which I thought was excellent and in really good condition. Now, this is a different vintage, it's 2016, and it's a Premier Cru, so rather than being potentially a collection of grapes from different vineyards across Gevrey Chambertin, it's just from a single vineyard, which has been at some point in history classified as being of particular noteworthy terroir, particularly good for producing Burgundy, and it's called Clos Prieur. I have a feeling I've had some wines from that vineyard from different producers. So bit of a mixed bag here. I think the producer is great. I've only had that one other wine from Harmans Geoffrey before, but I loved that 2019 Gevrey Chambertin. The fact that it's a Premier Cru sort of suggests that it might be something a bit more special than the regular village level. But on the downside, 2016 being a bit of an iffy sort of a year. Certainly not the very high rate of success that 2017 was. Actually, 2019s have mostly been pretty good. There seems to be an odd thing in Burgundy, at least for the last sort of 5-10 years, that the odd-numbered years are generally better than the even-numbered years. I don't know why that would be. But anyway, let's not try and prejudice the assessment. Got a bit of cork in there. Never mind. And I will attempt to taste this on its own merits. The colour is nice, sort of dark but kind of bright. That's a complete contradiction, isn't it? Definite some fruit on the nose to begin with. We're in sort of roughly cherry territory, which is good. Perhaps a bit more dark cherry, a little bit, tiny bit kirshy. And those cherries go slightly boozy. Little bit of something sous-bois, slightly organic funk there. Could just be because I'm sitting on the floor of the woods, as I often say. Concentration's nice, quite rich, a little bit more tannic than I remember that 2019 village level Gevrey Chambertin from Harmans Geoffrey being. Yeah, I mean, what I would say about that other wine from Harmans Geoffrey is that it was incredibly pure, and you could argue maybe a little bit simplistic, but I love that. It had everything I wanted, just very good pure fruit expression, really concentrated. This is perhaps a bit more nuanced. There's definitely sort of decent amount of cherry fruit expression there, but slight sort of, I don't know, mushroomy kind of forest floor sort of funk. As I say, that could be environmental. And a bit more tannin, a bit more sort of wood or the woods, a little bit drier. But yeah, I will keep sipping at that and see how it develops. It is still doing a bit of mushroomy funk. There's something slightly kind of green and vegetal in there. I have at home a nosing kit. It's a box and it has all these little bottles with scents in, and I think it possibly might actually be the Bordeaux version, but I think the Burgundy version, red Bordeaux version, is relatively similar in terms of identifying these kind of scents that you might find in the wines. And one of them is green pepper as in bell peppers or capsicum peppers. And I always wondered, why is that in there? I can't remember that being a note that I've noticed very often. I think I am getting a bit of that here. And I wonder slightly if this is an artifact of 2016 being a slightly difficult year in Burgundy. I can't remember the specific conditions, but I have a feeling they had a lot of rain and or not entirely perfect weather. I think consequently you get that sort of, that kind of greenness, sort of a green smell that you may recognise from, like I say, things like bell peppers, capsicum peppers, whatever you call them in your part of the world. You know, pepper, the fruit, not peppercorns, which is a bit of a shame, and I suspect that's why this Premier Cru 2016 is A, still available, and B, was not much, I can't remember the exact price, but I think it was in a similar ballpark to the 2019 village level, which, as I've said many times, I think is brilliant from Harmand Geoffrey. Personally, I'd rather have pure, intense cherry myself. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a good demonstration that the vintage really matters. glass of the slightly green Gevrey Chambertin on the train from Tring back to London Euston. Cheers.